Our brain wasn't designed for this shit. And so I wouldn't diagnose you with anything, man. Even if, I mean, legal stuff aside, like, I don't, like, is this depression? No. Is it anxiety?
A scapegoat? Does the diagnosis feel like a scapegoat?
Well, absolutely. All right, so here's the question. I'm addicted to forming, thanks for finding this, by the way, Moses.
No problem.
I'm addicted to forming parasocial relationships with female streamers on Twitch, especially the Asian ones. I started as a lurker in their chats, but slowly worked my way up to moderator with a bunch of them. I dedicate 30% of my monthly earnings to these women through donations and gifted subscriptions, and in return, they give me countless hours of entertainment. And if I'm lucky, I'm able to have Discord calls sometimes. Anyway, so I have two questions. One, how do I take the next step to move this relationship forward? I want to fly to Korea to meet them in person, but I don't want to intrude on their personal space or make them feel weird. I'm a nice guy. There's that term again. So they will not be in danger. And two, I know you cannot diagnose people on the internet, but what condition would you say I am suffering from? Is this okay? I feel I am healthy, but my parents don't approve of my lifestyle or think I am wasting my income on false hope. Thanks, love the work that you do. Great question, man. Okay. You want to go or you want me to go? Okay. I thought this was more my league. Okay. So first thing is, bro, I think you got to come on stream, man. So this is one of those questions that I think, like, we have to understand you better, right? So we can't. So I want you guys to notice, first of all, Twitch chat, like, what was your instinctive reaction? Your instinctive reaction was judgment, right? Like, it's judgment. And then, like, we don't want to judge because judge doesn't help us understand. It's just like, so I think there are a lot of questions. I don't have an answer for you because I have way too many questions. I don't feel like I can give you a simple answer to this. You know, that, and let's just start with, you know, so first of all, I commend you for recognizing what you're doing. And that, I mean, if we look at the question, he says, I'm addicted to forming parasocial relationships with female streamers on Twitch. Okay. So, like, the question, I mean, I think I have a bunch of questions for you. And I think if you want an answer from me, I don't think I can give you one because this is a little bit outside the scope of my experience, you know, which is, what is it that, how does it feel when you do these kinds of things and you get this kind of attention? And more importantly, like, what feelings are you running away from by engaging in this kind of behavior? Because I think it's not just about positive reinforcement, it's about the avoidance of, like, negative things. So when you try to actually talk, instead of a Twitch streamer, what is it about a Twitch streamer that makes you feel safe in engaging with them? Because I think a big issue here is safety, and I don't think you feel safe. And you know, you're a nice person, unclear whether you're a good person, and we have to explore that, right? And you have to explore whether you really are a good person. And I think you recognize that something about what you do will be off-putting to people, which is why you include that to begin with. Like, think about, you know, the kinds of questions that people ask are so enlightening about, like, who they are. So he says, one, how do I take the next step and to move this relationship forward? So the first thing is that I'm addicted to forming parasocial relationships, plural, with multiple female streamers on Twitch. And then you ask a question, how do I take the next step to move this relationship forward? Which relationship are you talking about? Because it sounds like what you do is form multiple relationships that all sort of satisfy some kind of itch. So which relationship is it that you want to move forward? I think that's the first question you've got to ask yourself. There are a lot of first questions you've got to ask yourself.
But also, forward to what?
Yeah. Right? And you say, I want to fly to Korea to meet them in person, but I don't want to intrude on their personal space or make them feel weird. Good for you. I'm a nice guy, so they will not be in any danger. Also good. But I think the fact that you include that you're a nice guy and I mean, no one here in all of the questions that they've asked, no one has said the person that I'm talking about will not be in any danger. Right? So, like, you recognize that there's something a little bit out of the scope of standard dating or relationship behavior, which you have to specify that no one's in any danger. And I believe you. I don't think that anyone's in any danger. But I think this goes down to, like, you want to move this relationship forward. Why do you form these connections with this kind of person? What keeps you from forming these connections with people who are not Twitch streamers? And we don't want to be judgmental. We don't want to say it's right or wrong. We just want to understand what it is. And then once we understand what keeps you from forming these connections with other people, then we can explore. Then you decide whether you're okay with that or not okay with that. And then we have to ask, like, when you say, how do I move this relationship forward? Like Ruthie said, what do you want from the relationship? What do you want the relationship to look like? And what is it about these people that, lures you like a moth to a flame? And the last thing that I would really, really think about is that I know you cannot diagnose people on the internet. You're right. But what condition would you say I'm suffering from? The short answer is I have no fucking idea, because this is not something that they taught me in residency. This is what I'm saying, is that, like, I don't think that everything can be reduced to I wouldn't diagnose you with anything. I don't know. Like, diagnose implies that you're mentally ill. I don't think you're mentally ill. Right? Like, this is new. Like, there are weird things that are going on. Like, we have a brain that was designed to deal with, like, humans that were, like, playing with rocks and fire, not forming connections with people that are thousands of miles away who we've never met. Our brain wasn't designed for this shit. And so I wouldn't diagnose you with anything, man. Even if, legal stuff aside, like, I don't, like, is this depression? No. Is it anxiety?
A scapegoat? Does the diagnosis feel like a scapegoat?
Well, absolutely. Right? This is exactly what I'm saying. Is like, you guys cannot be reduced to a diagnosis. I can't give you an acronym that you can then Google or look up on WebMD that explains who you are.
First, right? Like,
yes,
being diagnosed, like, in some way buys you some forgiveness, right? And, like, gives you some grace.
Yeah, so, like, a diagnosis can be good and bad, right? So if we call video game an addiction, how does that benefit us? So, like, calling it an addiction is good in some ways, because it sort of, like, connects you to a community where other people suffer in the way that you do, right? So, like, it sort of, like, lumps you in with a group of people, but then that can also be bad in some ways. But it lets you connect with others. So what your diagnosis is, I don't know, man.
Wait, hold on. Are we trolled? Was that a troll question?
I don't think so.
Wait, do you want to know?
Yeah, I think it is.
I can tell you, but I don't. So, like, if you look at that guy's Reddit account, it's just like a bunch of, he just, like, manufactures, like, stuff like this.
Great.
I still want him to come on stream.
Yeah, that's a whole
Then the question is, why the fuck do you spend your days manufacturing shit on Reddit? And then they say, for the lulz. And then the question is, like, why do you spend your day for the lulz? Like, what's going on, man?
Can you get him on?
Anyway, we'll see.
I can try.
Right, because I think that there's, like, a kernel of truth to, like this person is looking for something on Reddit. And there's, like, even if it's fucking manufactured, like, that doesn't, like, why spend your day manufacturing this kind of stuff? And they say, for the lulz. For the lulz is not a real answer. It's an umbrella term, like lazy. It's like, what's your actual motivation? I find it amusing. Why do you find that amusing?
Okay.
It's like when people ask questions, like, I'm curious. Like, I'm curious about, your sexuality. Like, why are you curious about, of all the things, like, why are you curious about my sexuality? That means something, right? What your mind naturally is drawn to indicates something about you. And I'm sad that that's a fake. Man, it's sad, dude, because I know this shit happens, dude. I know there are people out there who spend a lot of money on streamers, ourselves included, right? And I've even asked, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Let me get it.
And I, like, want to talk to them, right? Like, let's understand, like, because this is the thing. That's happening on Twitch, man. It's not just one dude.
Right. It's basing it on.
Yeah, that shit's real.
And, like, we got to understand, like, what is happening to us, guys? Why are we doing this? Anyway.